because they're almost as broke as you, if you can imagine. Just imagine on your pittance that you make trying to support a fucking 40,000 square foot house. Gardeners, well, they don't have gardeners because the grass is up to here. But just imagine, it's $10 an hour to heat this cocksucker. $10 an hour, $240 every fucking day. Very few live like this, and even my own neighbors that have estates this big, the wallpaper's fucking falling down, the carpets are all frayed, they don't have butlers running around, etc. Because they're almost as broke as you, if you can imagine. Just imagine on your pittance that you make trying to support a fucking 40,000 square foot house. Gardeners, well, they don't have gardeners because the grass is up to here. But just imagine, it's $10 an hour to heat this cocksucker. $10 an hour, $240 every fucking day. Every day, just to heat it. And that's if it doesn't get super cold. When you got to really put on the blasters because the heat is very inefficient for a house like this. But these estates, 25, 30 years ago, Lloyd's of London, which is the premier insurance company, so to speak, that the Brits used to insure their shipping and etc. around the world from centuries ago, said this is one of the most well-appointed houses in Britain, which I'm sure it is. And even now, since we spent millions refurbishing it and continuing to refurbish it, it's even better. So when you say that you were in awe, and just like when I walk by those cars, I don't even see anything. Rolls, Bentley, Ferrari. Aston Martin, thank you. Aston Martin. I don't even see anything. When our kids are here, they don't see anything. The Ferrari they see. The Ferrari they see. The kids see, But you guys do. Because that's not the social economic milieu you came from. A couple of you got a few bucks by normal standards. Chump change by anybody else's standard, but you got a few bucks. One or two of you came from reasonably well off, reasonably, but not like Barron Trump, which we're going to discuss in a minute. And you can fault the president, and full disclosure, I knew him in another lifetime ago. I haven't talked to him in decades. One kid gets, in trouble because he cheats on his wife. Well, 50% of everybody cheat on their wives. 50% get caught cheating on their wives. 90% cheat on their wives. Okay. But the Trump kids turned out all right, as did our kids, dealing with other rich kids. And I bring this up because I had the privilege of speaking at the University of Pennsylvania last week. And to say that I was impressed. It's the first Ivy League school, although lectured at Oxford and a few other great schools, the Naval Academy, etc. I was impressed. The University of Pennsylvania. Founded by Benjamin Franklin, who arguably was a pervert, but that's a whole other thing. He came up with the decatheter. And why did decatheter is you stick up your penis so you can pee when you have venereal diseases or something's wrong with your kidneys. Well, I'm not sure they knew about kidneys back in when he invented it. But he fucked his brains out. And if you fuck your brains out, you get you get gonorrhea and you get all that kind of shit. So he came up with a method so he could cleanse his. I think it was fucking genius. He was a fucking genius. Oh fuck, And but the school was very impressive. And to say that they were nice to me is an understatement of biblical proportions. Notwithstanding, as I told you last night, they told me to double my security, which was a joke. But anyway, but those kids don't live like you. And they have a better chance of success than you. Everybody in this room, just because of where they went to school. They don't call them Rolodexes anymore. They call them, what's the equivalent of a Rolodex in today's computer world?
Contacts.
Yeah. Okay. They have a contact list that goes back, although they're the only two presidents, Harrison and Trump. But I got to poke fun of Elon Musk, who went there, and I had a field day. But they don't come from the same world that you do. So some of the kids that have come, like we had a University of Columbia, or Columbia University from New York City at the last seminar. He's got a Rolodex. He happens to also be a vet. And the reason I was there is because of James Goggins, who's from Bumfuck, USA, signed his name with an X, which is a slight exaggeration. He's graduated from there, that I met 4 or 5 years ago. And I told him that the best route for a black guy from Bumfuck, Mississippi, Bumfuck, USA, where we came from, with his sordid, terrible background as he had, other than being a vet, was to go to an Ivy League school. And unlike most of you aren't going to listen. And I already know who's not going to listen. That's the tragedy of this program. And based on your test results, which are, I say they're only 95% accurate. It's a lie. They're 99.5% accurate, but my lawyers tell me I got to say 95, otherwise I'm going to get sued. I know who's going to succeed in this room, or who the probabilities are, based on the test results. And you saw your own test results. But occasionally somebody makes it out of the, past those speed bumps. They're only speed bumps. Occasionally I'm wrong. Once a seminar I'm wrong. So you're hoping that you're the one that I'm wrong about. The odds aren't in your favor, though. I told you the fallout rate from last seminar already, which even surprised me. And I'm not easily surprised. The more I tighten up the seminar, the more they want to come, and the more they fail. It's really a strange conundrum, as they say. But because I went to the University of Pennsylvania, and I had the privilege of speaking there, and it was a veteran-sponsored deal. The normal student body wouldn't ask me to go speak at U of P. A number of unusual things happened at the last seminar. One, I got to speak at Dan Locke's Big Hitter! Black Tie! Gala! For big fucking hitters! Which I enjoyed the shit out of. And I enjoy Dan, having known him since he's 21, when he came to me with holes in his socks and a suit that he wore that his uncle owned. And now look at him. But that little fuck listens too. And these examples that I'm going to give you, when we start looking at size, the first few examples, are kids that against the grain should have failed, but listened. Most of you in this room already have more going for you than the examples I'm going to show you. I.e., the first example I gave was James Goggins. The second example I gave was Dan Locke. You have more going today than they did when they first came to me. But they listened. They listened. And even though intellectually, QLA is an easy fucking program, it's a hard motherfucker. And you're going to hear from all the webinars, 2 live webinars by 2 gals, as I mentioned last night. They're going to say that default is a motherfucker. And one of the shooting stars, not shooting stars because shooting stars go like this, but one of the shooting stars from 4 months ago or so, I just read his email to me, although apparently, because I tell you the easiest way is just change your phone number, don't talk to anybody, cut off social media 100%. That's what I tell you. Nobody does that, or virtually nobody. He tried like 85 or 90% of it, and then he said, well, I finally had to change my number. I only gave it to my brother and my mother. And I have cut out all outside contact with everybody that I knew before I came to the seminar. It took him 4 months. Because it's a motherfucker. That's not easy to do. Now just think through, just real quickly. If everybody that you ever talk to, especially you, lard ass, Asians, it's hard because the family and the Hispanics, the family is part of your social culture. And that's why you're fucked. Because your social culture's fucked. So I read the email from the guy, black guy. Not that it makes any difference. Because the sacrifices that are required. What he did last week, I did 1981. When I moved here from the United States, never to talk to anybody again.